Most people think the real conversation starts after the small talk. They're wrong. In the first 60 seconds, sometimes the first 30, people have already decided, do I respect this person? Will I let them influence me? And can I trust what they say? I learned this the hard way in briefing rooms where one wrong opening sentence meant senior officers tuned out before I even got to the second slide. Today I'm giving you the exact sequence I now use and teach my clients to win that first minute and set the tone for respect, influence, and trust before you've said 10 full sentences. If you've ever felt invisible in a meeting, steamrolled in a negotiation, or had your ideas dismissed instantly, this episode will change how you walk into every room. Let's get into it. Now, why does the first 60 seconds matter more than everything else? Here's the uncomfortable truth most communication advice ignores. Your audience's brain makes a lightning-fast decision about you in under a minute. They're not listening for content yet. They're scanning for three signals. First, are you a threat or are you an asset? Second, do you know what you're talking about? And the third is, are you worth my mental energy? In military terms, this is what we called the recon phase, reconnaissance. Everyone is doing it on you, and you're doing it on them. The difference, most people waste those 60 seconds with filler, nervous energy, or trying to be liked. The few who win them treat the opening like a deliberate briefing. Every word, every pause, every micro choice has purpose. I once watched a highly intelligent major lose an entire room in less than a minute because he started with 3 filler words and an apology for taking their time. By the time he got to the actual point, the commander was already checking his watch. Now here's a 60-second framework, the 4 moves that will win the room. I call this the 60-second frame. 4 deliberate moves you can execute in a meeting, any meeting, negotiation, or difficult conversation, or even on a first date. Move 1, claim your space. This should last for between 1 and 10 seconds. Walk in, stand, or sit quietly in stability. Shoulders relaxed, back straight, no fidgeting. Before you speak, take 1 visible breath. That single pause signals, I'm not rushing, I own this moment. And here's a pro tip for you. In virtual calls, open your camera a second early and look directly at the lens while people join. You become the calm center. Now move 2, state your intent, not your agenda. This should take between 10 and 25 seconds. Don't start with, today I want to talk about. Instead, give them why, because why this conversation matters to them. Examples. Instead of saying something like, let's review the second quarter numbers, say something like, I want to make sure we leave this room aligned on exactly what needs to change so we hit our targets without burning the team out. Another example, instead of saying, I have a concern about your performance, you can change that to, my intent today is to understand what's blocking you and remove it so you can get back to the level I know you're capable of. 1 clean sentence of intent does 3 things. It orients them, reduces defensiveness, and positions you as purposeful. Now, move number 3 is drop 1 anchor factor story. This should be 25 to 45 seconds. Give them a single, concrete piece of solid truth. A short story, a surprising statistic, or specific observation that proves you've done your homework and you're not just talking. Keep it under 15 seconds. Example from a real negotiation that I had. Last quarter, we adjusted the timeline the way I'm proposing today. The client actually increased their order by 40%. Here's what that looked like. That came out clear. Stories beat data in the first minute because the brain remembers narrative faster than bullet points. Now, the 4th move, hand off with control. End your opening by explicitly inviting their input while keeping the frame. Here's an example. What's your take on that? Or where do you see the biggest risk in this approach? Notice the difference. You're not saying, what do you think? which invites rambling. You're directing their attention to the specific area you want. Do these 4 moves well, and the rest of the conversation flows on your terms. Let's talk about what destroys respect before you even begin. I call them the common first 60-second killers. Starting with an apology or disclaimer, something like, sorry to take up your time. Another killer, jumping straight into data dumps or jargon. Another is using weak openers like, I just wanted to, or quick question. Another one, it's terrible, is trying to be funny or overly casual when the stakes are high. And the last, multitasking while you speak, looking at notes or checking your phone. Those will kill the first 60 seconds faster than anything else. I've seen brilliant people do all these and wonder why they're not taken seriously. The fix is simple. Prepare your first 60 seconds as carefully as you prepare your last 60. Here's another real-world example from my experience. Early in my briefing career, I was given 15 minutes with a 2-star general. I was just a second lieutenant at the time. I had full slides of data. Instead, I opened with 50 seconds of pure intent and one anchor story from the field. By the 1-minute mark, he leaned forward and said, continue. We finished in 9 minutes, and he commended me directly to my squadron commander. Last month, I had a client use the same sequence in a salary negotiation. She went from being offered a 4% raise to 19% plus a title change because the first 60 seconds told her boss she was there to solve problems, not complain. Now, here's your 24-hour challenge. Before every important conversation, even a quick team huddle, script and rehearse your exact first 60 seconds out loud. Record yourself on your phone if you have to. Then do the 4 moves. At the end of the day, note one thing that felt different in how people responded to you. Drop your results in the comments or send me a message. I can share the best ones in a future episode. If today's episode gave you a new edge, do 3 things. Hit the follow button, share this episode with someone who you think needs to hear it, and leave a quick review. It definitely helps the channel. Remember, the conversation doesn't start when you think it does. It starts the moment you open mouth, or choose not to. Protect the first minute. Own it. Until next time, speak with intent.